welcome back to my channel. Today I'm very excited because we're going to be talking about webtoons, which I feel like is such a great language learning hack, but I don't really hear too much about it in the community, so let's get into it. I think that webtoons, I think maybe if you're learning like Korean or like Japanese, like this is a no-brainer, and probably even Chinese, like these are like no-brainers. However, they are accessible to many more languages than that, and I've been using them to learn, I almost said Chinese, girl. I've been using them to learn Spanish for the past year or even more, honestly. And so, yeah, I really love webtoons, and I feel like you should not be sleeping on them because they really do a lot for us in the language learning world. I feel like maybe like they're a little bit slept on just because it's like obviously whenever you're reading like novels, like you're really, getting this strong hold on the language and you're getting exposed to like higher level words, and all of that is amazing. However, I think that webtoons really have a special spot and a lot to offer us in the language learning world. And, this all kind of came to me when I was in college. I remember I had to read an article for class, and sorry, this was a little bit ago. So I don't have the article in question. However, I do remember it really stuck out to me because it was about graphic novels in the classroom. And of course, this video is more about webtoons. However, this goes for graphic novels as well. I'm a big fan. So either way you want to spin it, I mean, graphic novels, webtoons, they're really amazing for language learning. And so anyways, in the article, basically it was saying why graphic novels are so important to have in the classroom, which I feel like is important to say because I think that sometimes they get a bad rep because it's like, oh, like that's not real reading, like there's just photos. Like I remember when I was a kid, like reading manga, and like that was like how people would feel. Like that was the general feeling towards me in my reading of manga, where it's like, okay, well, that's not real books. Those aren't real books. They are real books, okay? So let's just get that out of the way. But basically the article was saying that if you have a classroom that has a lot of students who are English language learners, graphic novels are wonderful to have because, for one, they're less intimidating. There's not so many words on a page, so students won't want to give up so easily. And then on top of that, the pictures are important. And I think that if you are somebody who really is into comprehensible input, then you understand the importance of visuals. So that being said, whenever you're learning a language, it's really helpful to have the words and have the pictures, have the art together. And that's exactly what you get with webtoons, okay? And I remember after I read the article and then I had my first classroom, I had it stocked up. I went to like thriftbooks.com and like I got so many graphic novels to have in there. Y'all, the way that my students ate it up, and it was the cutest thing ever because it was like literally like they were obsessed with the graphic novels. Like, it was a thing. They loved those things and it got them reading so much, and it was really a beautiful thing. And so whenever I started to learn Spanish, I took that same sentiment with me and I was into webtoons right away. I think it's important to note that with webtoons, they're very accessible. They're very accessible. And I know that we have graded readers, but the truth is that y'all, graded readers get so boring. Like they get so boring. Like I can't with graded readers. I do not like graded readers. I'm really thankful for the authors out there who write graded readers and do try to make them good. However, they're just not. And I think that webtoons are very special in the way that they are designed for natives, and yet even if you have a more lower level of the language, it's still more accessible to you. Of course, there's so many things you're going to be learning, and I think that it's so much more fun though, than just like reading like a boring little graded reader with no story. A webtoon has a very fleshed out story, fleshed out characters, beautiful art. And so it makes it a lot more enjoyable to be reading, which I think is saying something because I think not everybody loves to read, but webtoons do make that more accessible for people who maybe even don't love reading, because it's just a little app that you can have on your phone, which brings me to the app I like to use, which is just webtoon. Very basic. However, y'all, there are tons of options out there. I do like webtoon though. It's not supported in so many languages, but I know it has Spanish, obviously, French, German, I'm pretty sure Chinese, Thai. Okay, hi guys, I'm editing right now. I just wanted to be more precise with this so this video is more resourceful. But here I have the app, and you can read webtoons in English, Chinese, Thai, Indonesian, Spanish, French, and German. They also have this app in Korean, but it's not like the webtoon app. Like you have to get like webtoon KR. Also, I do know that like Neighbor has webtoons in Korean for free as well, if you would just want to look at them that way. But yeah. So you do have some options there. But yeah, even more than that, there's other websites, there's other apps, but I use webtoons, so that's the one I'm more familiar with and I'll be talking about today. But really, I seriously do recommend that you get into webtoons if it sounds like something that you could be interested in, or maybe if you're not so much into reading, but you want to read in your target language, give it a try. It's really, really worth it. And it's so easy to have just like on your phone, on your iPad, whatever. You can read, you can literally like read here and there. It really makes it so accessible. And so, yeah, I think another thing too is the fact that there is so many different options. Like there's so many different genres, so many different art styles even. So you can really find something that works for you. And it's really helped me, I think, even more because I was saying this a little bit earlier, but whenever you're reading novels, obviously the language tends to be a little bit more high level and a lot more beautiful and not so reflective of real life. And with webtoons, you really get thrown into how the language is genuinely being used by natives. And I think that's so much fun. Like it's so much more conversational and it's so much more relevant to daily life, which granted, the language used in novels is beautiful and it's important to know if you want to be in that high leveled space of a language. However, like I was saying, webtoons are a lot more accessible and they're a lot more relevant in that way. And so you really get to see how language is used. And then like even in the comments, you get to see natives commenting on the webtoons, and you get to see like how like, you know, they like to like get down and like the comments and like how like they would speak and how they would use the language to talk about what's happening. And so it's really like, I don't know, it's like you really get to be in the know, you know, whenever you're reading a webtoon. So like there's just so many good things about it. And so yeah, now I'm going to give you some of my recommendations. I don't really have a lot. I have a few though, some of the ones that I've read. As of right now, on my little notepad here, I'm reading Love for a Walk. This one is very silly. It's not serious. Like, it's like, for me, the premise is like one of like the silliest things I've ever come across. But the art is so good. I love the art and it's really cute. It's super, super cute. So I've been enjoying it. But basically it's just about these like neighbors like in an apartment complex, and they have dogs, and the girl's dog is really badly behaved. So her very attractive neighbor is like gonna help her to train her dog. Obviously it's a little love story, but that's another thing. I will say I do go for romance. So if romance is not your thing, maybe you won't love these. However, they're pretty cute. Another one that I have read is, okay, this is like my top. This is my top. Guía de citas para principiantes. It's so good. It's so cute. It's like about college students. It's a love triangle. It has to do with like, they're like in tech. I forget, like IT stuff, I think. It's super, super cute. Another one that's really cute. I didn't get too far in it, but it's kind of like fantasy romance. It's called Beso del Sexto Sentido, and it's cute. It's just basically about this girl that if she kisses somebody, she like will see the future or something like that. Next one is B&B, Be My Babe. This one, I'm pretty sure they're like high schoolers, and it's another romance. I got into this one because it's Chilean, so I wanted to just take advantage of that and just like get more into Chilean language and just like how they use language and just more of the culture. So that one was fun for me. I will say trigger warning on that one because it does have to do with abuse a little bit. And then last one, I did not finish this one, Mi Liberación en Tu Fuego. That one, beautiful art. That's why I went for it. But the story wasn't really for me, so I didn't get that far into it. But y'all, the art out of all of these, most beautiful art. So anyways, yeah, those are some of my recs. If you have any webtoon recs, please leave them down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I convinced you to get into webtoons. They're really, really worth it. Oh, one more thing. Webtoons is a free app. However, sometimes you have to pay for some of the stories. Not all of them, it just depends. So I usually try to read ones that you don't have to pay for, or usually you'll get like a good amount of the story before you have to start paying. And it's like you have to pay for a daily pass or something. I don't know, I've never done it. So you can definitely use the app 100% free, or you have the option to pay if you want to keep reading more on some of them, not all of them. But anyways, yeah, I almost forgot to mention that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!